Hello all, this is Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs, and I get this question a lot, and it's kind of a hard one to answer in reality. And they always ask, why is there so many discrepancies in regards to pricing to pull your website together? And as we know, in today's world, a lot of people have started their own businesses and they've learned how to do websites and so on and so forth. So when you look at pricing for your website, you kind of have to think, okay, I know I need to do it. So how much should it cost me? And that's another good question. So you have to think about it this way. Number one, what is it that you want your website to do? You want it to, granted, get leads. It should. You want to get you want to get leads. Granted, you also want to get payment through there. You want to get as much as possible through your website. The other thing, though, is what is your audience and who is your audience and the content, which we've talked about in the past. So when you're looking at these things and you're looking at your website, you have to try and decide, do I need a one-page website? Do I need a four-page website? Maybe I need more pages than just 5 or 6 or whatever that may be. So before you start even going down that road in regards to the cost of a website, you got to figure out first, what do you need? What is it you're trying to accomplish with this website? And you want to try and draw it out, kind of like a brain map. You draw out each page and what you want to have on those pages. Now, if you're not sure about this, of course you want to talk to somebody who can help you with this. But here goes back to the thought of the costs. There are people out there that are charging $500 for a website. There are people out there charging $8,000 for a website. There are people charging $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for a website. I mean, I had a client that spent $10,000 for a website that's now just a real pretty on-site paperweight because the company she went with charged her a fortune to do it. They went bankrupt. They didn't give her the back-end information, and now she can't even get to it or do anything with it. It's just out there in the realms. So, and I've talked about this too in getting your back-end information, but when it comes back to price, it's essentially up to you and what you're willing to pay. And it's essentially up to what you feel that cost is going to get you. And you want to ask a lot of questions. Like, okay, if I'm going to pay this much money, what exactly am I going to get for this website? What's going to be put into it? How's this going to be put together? Will I get the back-end information? Will you constantly update it or not? Who's going to update it? You have a lot of questions that you need to ask before you even look at pricing. And then you have to figure out, is that pricing worth it or not? And that's the key too, is because even though somebody's very talented and they're just starting in the industry and they're charging $500, they might put a website together that looks a hell of a lot better than the $3,000 one or the $10,000 one. So it all really, the basic thing about it is it's the talent, the person behind the person who's doing that, who's setting up the website, who's building that website. That's essentially who you want to check into. That's essentially what you're paying for, whether it's $500, $8,000, $20,000, whatever the case may be. I know a lot of people say you get what you pay for, but I don't know if that's always true. And sometimes, yes, in some cases that is true, but I don't know if that's always true. And I'm just being honest here because I've seen some people that have put websites together for very inexpensive and they're gorgeous websites and they're much better than some of the other ones that are bigger. But here's a thought you have to think about too, is how much time are they spending on your website and how much are they doing for that in regards to building the back end, the front end? And are they willing to do all of that? Are they doing the content for you? Or are you doing the content? Are they pulling in the images or are you pulling those images together? Are you the one who's having to come up with all the information? Or are they helping you do that? Are they strategizing with you and finding out, well, what do you actually need? Do you need this, this, or this? Are they asking the right questions? Are you asking the right questions? And these all tie into cost of how much it really costs to build a website. And plus, the biggest question you want to ask yourself is, how much is it worth to you? How much is your website worth to you? I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of people out there that say you don't even need a website. Okay, so how are you going to get those leads? How are you going to get paid? How are you going to get all of the, as we know as entrepreneurs, our list, that's our gold. So how are you going to fruition that list? How are you gonna keep that going? How are you gonna build it? And those are key things that you want to ask yourself when you even going in and talking about pricing. So the next time you start looking down that road about pricing in regards to building a website, you want to find out exactly, number one, what are you going to put in it? Are you going to, number two, are you going to be providing all that content, or are they going to be providing that content? And number three, are you getting and asking the right questions, and are they asking the right questions? So do your homework. That's the way I see it. Do your homework. And yes, sometimes you'll have a website put together. You're done with it. You think, yeah, it's okay. Until you see somebody else pull something else together that's a little more, and you think, oh, now I see the difference. So go outside, look around, see what websites are out there. But do your homework before you do anything. And just know that when it comes to price differing in regards to building websites, it just depends on the talent behind who's building that website and what they're willing to charge and what you're willing to pay. So this is my tip, KG Website Designs, and I hope you find it helpful. Until next time.